When I was younger, I wanted to be an astronaut. I know a future in space may seem contrary to just about everything about me. I mean, I am afraid of open space, stars, the color black, but that's besides the point. The point is that I told practically everyone that I knew that someday I was going to space. Normally this garnered semi-typical responses, but one day someone told me something I will never forget. I told my uncle that someday I was going to visit the moon, and he told me, that doesn't make any sense. The moon isn't real. And that was my introduction to conspiracy theories, best defined by Central Community College as an explanation for a situation that asserts the existence of powerful and/or sinister groups that control things. At first, I was confused. I mean, these ideas existed in strong contrast to everything that I knew to be true. Still, I was hooked. And as I began to dig deeper, I learned that conspiracy theories aren't all fun and games. In fact, they reflect some of the most fascinating and at times dangerous parts of human nature. And at a time when, according to the University of Illinois, most Americans believe in at least some conspiracy theories, it is imperative that we understand this topic. So today, we'll travel to Area 51 and delve into the history of conspiracy theories, before we then explore the Bermuda Triangle and learn about why we engage with conspiracy theories, before finally, we meet the reptilians running the government and examine the problems conspiracy theories can cause. First, let's travel to Area 51 and delve into the history of the conspiracy theory. Contrary to popular belief, the conspiracy theory is not a new idea. In fact, conspiracies have existed for millennia, and one of the earliest recorded examples takes us all the way back to Rome in 64 AD. During this time period, the Roman Empire was thriving. The bread was good, the wine was even better, and gladiator fights were all the rage. Probably because of the wine. Roman life was good until the city caught on fire. The fire was devastating, killing thousands of Romans and injuring countless more. In the end, most of Rome was completely destroyed, and the people were looking for someone to blame. It just so happened that Emperor Nero was out of town during the fire, and rumors began to rage that he had actually organized the fire in order to rebuild Rome in his image. As such, one of the first recorded examples of the conspiracy theory was born. About 1,500 years later, England was experiencing a religious revival, which is the perfect breeding ground for perhaps the most popular conspiracy theory in history: witchcraft. Another common topic of early English conversation was royalty. And these two combined to create my personal favorite conspiracy theory: that Dame Elizabeth Woodville enchanted King Edward VI into marrying her. I guess he must have been quite the catch. And she, well, wasn't. About 400 years later, America as we know it was born. And because the nation was so young, it was full of different groups vying for political power, which led to countless accusations of corruption. Early America's favorite boogeyman was the Illuminati, a society dedicated to free thinking. Despite reports from AP News that the Illuminati had little to no power in America during this time period, that didn't stop rumors from raging that the Illuminati was behind every election, political occurrence, and mosquito bite you may get. When we examine the historical prevalence of the conspiracy theory, it becomes clear that the conspiracy theory is not a new idea. In fact, conspiracies have existed for as long as humans have existed. The fact that conspiracy theories have been prevalent for thousands of years begs one specific question: why? What about conspiracy theories continually drives us to engage with them? We discover the answer when we explore the Bermuda Triangle and learn about why we engage with conspiracy theories. According to the BBC, the answer comes to us in the form of the two C's: community and control. It's no secret that humans have always been pack animals. We need to exist in groups in order to survive. And a group of conspiracy theorists can allow us to meet that need. Being a part of a group of conspiracy theorists allows us to meet our human needs for belonging, respect, and connection. For some, the conspiracy theories are just a mere side effect of that. Another often overlooked part of human nature that connects to conspiracy theories is our need for control. Humans want to feel like we are in control, that we have power over our own lives, and when anything even begins to violate that, we get defensive. Or, according to Kathleen Brown, professor at Penn State, when outside people seem to have too much sway over our welfare, we're more inclined to go looking for hidden patterns and purposes. Perhaps the best example of this is the JFK assassination. The FBI and CIA repeatedly find that one man, Lee Harvey Oswald, is responsible for the assassination of JFK. But we don't want to believe that. We don't want to believe that one guy with a gun and a mission can kill a president and fundamentally alter the state of American politics for years to come. So we engage in conspiracies. We want to believe that big events have proportionally big causes, because that's how things make sense. And we need things to make sense for us to have any control at all. If conspiracy theories allow people to have communities and to regain control that they feel may have been previously lost in our lives, that begs the question, then why do so many people irrevocably condemn conspiracy theorists? And we see the problem when we meet the reptilians running the government and examine the problems conspiracy theories can cause. In short, the problem arises when theory turns to action. Countless acts of violence in recent history have been directly inspired by conspiracy theories. And this makes sense. Countless conspiracy theories posit that there is some group that is actively doing you harm and is lying to you about it. Or, as stated by Kathleen Brown, there's a sense in conspiracy communities that there's a danger, and the threat is multiplying, and there is nothing you can do, and no one is listening. That's more than enough to get someone angry and radicalized, and they're easily motivated to violence when those two conditions are met. In recent history, one of the worst examples of violence motivated by conspiracy theories is the Buffalo shooting. 10 African-American people were killed by a shooter who said that it was his job to ensure that the white race didn't go extinct because the influx of people of color was going to cause the white race to completely disappear. That's the Great Extinction conspiracy theory. And it has directly motivated 4 other mass shootings in addition to the Buffalo one. I wish that these were isolated incidents, but they're not. In fact, interpersonal violence is often seen as well. In 2021, a California man killed his own children after being radicalized by conspiracy beliefs. He believed they had serpent DNA and were destined to do harm to this world. Their names were Kalia and Roxy, and they were both less than 2 years old. And this is unfortunately the dark side of conspiracy theories. They can drive us to violence, lead us to hurt each other. And that's what I would call the real conspiracy. American businesswoman Iris Apfel once said, "The world is not black and white. In fact, it's more so shades of gray." And conspiracy theories are much the same. They're not all good and they're not all bad. Like most things in life, they're complicated. Today, we travel to Area 51 and delve into the history of conspiracy theories. before we then explored the Bermuda Triangle and learned about why we engage with conspiracy theories, before finally we met the reptilians running the government and learned about the problems conspiracy beliefs can cause. If we've learned anything today, it's that critical consumption is key. And also, the moon is real. Probably.